Welcome back to another episode of Ultras 11. I'm Joe.
And I'm Alex.
International break is over. Club football has resumed. We had our first fixtures back this week. For some people, me in particular, it was fantastic. You know, getting a dub, not going to lie. Players came back from injury. People came back with a win. Some people wasn't great. Chelsea fans kind of got railed, not going to lie.
Especially after playing that City game and not looking too bad.
Like, not a good jump, but hey, it was Newcastle, I guess. Spurs lost the last 3 games.
And now they're in 5th?
Yeah.
From first undefeated to 5th place now?
Yeah.
Solid. Spurs always good.
Is key.
Tottenham, it's the history of the Tottenham. It's dude, it's a better quote has never been said.
It's true, actually. And it came from, obviously, one of the greatest center backs of all time. But regardless of that, we're not going to harp on
the point.
We're not going to harp on this. We're not going to harp on negatives. We have a good episode coming your way, guys. We have actually some fun stuff to talk about. After last week, we kind of had fun with, like, obviously talking about the sport and whatever, but doing something random, like, you know, talking about the women's game, you know, like whatever, stuff like that. So we'll have that on the itinerary today. But before we get to anything crazy, let's actually talk about the FIFA virus. The FIFA virus is actually just the absurd amount of injuries we've had ever since the Qatar World Cup, essentially, actually. Yeah. There's a study conducted by the Howden Insurance Group, and there was like the length of the absences, the length of time of the absence, like whatever, has significantly increased. And so clearly, like, there's some issues with this. There's the amount of games these guys are playing, fitness, regimens, this, that, maybe size of the squad, whatever it is. So, Al, as of course, I'm going to ask you the question. What do you think would be the better idea for FIFA? Should they be a little bit more like financially lenient with the amount of players each team has or how much they spend? Like financial fair play be a little bit more like, hey, yeah, spend that extra 10, 15 mil on depth type of thing.
Players.
Should certain competitions be eliminated internationally, domestically, like introducing the Nations League? That literally means nothing except automatic qualification to the Euro. And even then, like whatever, like stuff like that. Like, what do you think is the appropriate response for them?
I mean, at the end of the day, Joe, it's like you said, this only became a thing as of recently. And the only thing that's changed as of recently is the amount of games these players now are playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, it's obviously becoming an issue because no matter what, like, no matter how much money they're making, people are like, oh, they're getting paid this much money. They should be able to do that. You know, if I was, at the end of the day, you're like, everyone's human. Mm-hmm. Your body can only take so much until it says, hey, I can't do it anymore. And, you know, you pull something or you see how many people now are just tearing ACLs left, right, and center. Dude, like, it's I remember when crazy. I tore mine, I was like, you know, I never really hear about this injury. It's like a common thing in soccer. And like, I genuinely, like, you know, didn't really like, it wasn't a very common thing. You heard it once in a while. Okay. Yeah, sure. But it was like, holy fuck, dude, he tore his ACL. Now it's like, another player tore his ACL. Like you can count on your team how many players have a torn ACL. Yeah. Like it's insane now. And I really just think that, you know, UEFA, FIFA, they have to look at this whole thing instead of just adding more competitions to try to build the sport and make it more popular and just try to keep it, you know, interesting for people to keep watching and have all these viewers. It's not about the quantity. It's the quality.
Mm.
That's what they should focus on. Focus on the competitions that you have, your best competitions, and you think about, okay, what can we do to make them better and more interesting for the fans?
Yeah.
Let's change the format of this in, you know, whatever, Champions League. Let's change the format in, you know, the World Cup, whatever it is. But you don't need to add in all these useless competitions just for the players to be playing more.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get injured. It's just, and it ruins then the club team because you have a player that, you know, you're either relying on or they're just one of the big players you have on your team. And then you lose him for who knows how long because he got injured playing a friendly against Zimbabwe or Kazakhstan. Like, what is the need for that? That's where I don't really see it. I just see it as them saying like, yeah, okay, let's keep adding more. These guys, we're paying them. They got to do whatever we say. Let's keep adding more competitions, more things for people to watch. And we're going to gain viewers. We're going to gain new fans. And people are going to think it's interesting because we have all these different competitions. Yeah. Who cares now? Like legit. Okay, yeah, you look at the NBA. They only had the one trophy. now they added in that play-in tournament to try to gain, viewers and all this stuff here. So far I've been kind of following that a little bit. It's been pretty interesting. It's like another cup, but they only have the one. You look at soccer where every league has your League Cup. You have your like the Coppa Italia, whatever, like the Italian Cup, all the divisions.
Yeah.
And then you have your Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, which it's only the top 6 teams really that are going there.
Yeah.
So you already have that. For me, honestly, take out Conference League. You have the 2 competitions. You make it more. You can't just give these handle these competitions to everybody.
Yeah,
you have to do something that to make it that you came 5th place, you're going to this competition. You made top 4, you're going to this competition. It shouldn't be all these top 6, top 7 are getting into these things.
Yeah,
that's one thing I think that's too many. Other than that, really in the league, that really hasn't changed too much. Maybe the space in between the games changed because I feel like now there's so much more games midweek and then weekend and I feel like it's so much more than when I think back to when I was younger.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I don't know if that's just me or that actually did happen, but internationally I feel is where they're doing too much and they're trying to add too much to try to make it spice it up a little bit, and it's ruining players, it's ruining teams because they got to change it up. And okay, the depth thing, you were saying, giving them more money for depth, but at the end of the day, depth is good for the odd person that gets gets hurt or whatever, or to fill those gaps that you're covered in every position. You'll have good depth, but at the end of the day, your starters are your starters. Those are your key guys on your team. You've paid big money for some of these names because they're difference makers. I get injuries happen every sport. It's unlucky. You never know they're coming, but now it's just getting ridiculous. Yeah. It's too much now. It's way too much. They have to figure out a way now to fix this problem, because it's going to get even more out of hand, because they're going to keep they're not stopping. They're going to add more and more stuff in, and these players aren't going to be able to do it.
Yeah. No, for me, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, okay, the Nations League I do think is irrelevant completely.
Yeah.
Conference League, I think that's a double-edged sword, because I think it is exposure for smaller teams that'll never financially or in general be able to compete with top dogs. So it's an incentive in that regard.
Yeah.
Why's your watch fucking flashing, by the way?
I don't know.
Tripping me out. Sorry.
Don't wear my watch.
Sorry. I just trying to look at you and I see a fucking. Anyways. Yeah. So I was saying, I think the Conference League is good in that regard, because it's exposure for smaller teams like Roma when we won it, whatever. No, but I think whatever. I do see a problem with it though, because now again it's smaller teams though, they don't have the financial ability to kind of compete on 3 fronts, like a League Cup, regular league play, and then this. So even let's just say hypothetically, we'll say a Serie A team that I know, whatever, Sassuolo, they make it to Europe.
Yeah,
they can't compete in that. You know what I mean? Obviously it's great, congratulations, great exposure, but what exposure is getting blown out every game? You know what I mean? But the thing is, I don't think they will ever change the fact that they have all these absurd, useless competitions. For me, I actually think they should install some sort of rule about youth players.
That you have to have a certain amount of youth players
starting or playing, in general, you know what I mean? Because obviously you can't look at clubs and say, hey, yeah, you're allowed to spend more, because then again, that only benefits the elites already. It won't benefit those teams that are trying to become elite because they don't have the financial backup or whatever, level. So I think there should be a rule all across the board, especially in European competitions, that you have to field some sort of youth players from your youth sector. And let's get real. Every team, even the lowest team, has 2, 3, 4, 5 teams of youngsters under 15, under 16. You know what I mean? So why not at least force the teams to grow their inside the club rather than spending the money? And it kind of exposes people too, gives more opportunity for youngsters. So I think that should be maybe something they could look into. But other than that, the only competition I would honestly say eliminate, get rid of it because it fucking sucks, is Nations League.
Yeah.
That to me is the biggest.
We can both agree on that.
The biggest fucking joke ever. On that note, do you think when players do get injured, I was reading that there's a rule in place that teams could get a maximum of 7.5 mil for the year. That's Gavi, who's essentially gone for the whole
pretty
year.
Much the year.
Barca is entitled to getting 7.5 mil, which is good, but is it really good? Because like this is my thing now. Like let's just say hypothetically, Gavi was an integral part.
Yeah.
They had no good midfielders, hypothetical world guys, whatever, and now he's gone. They have nothing, whatever, and now they in the league they slump all the way down to 10th place, Barcelona. What if now, like that's the difference between them making that Champions League money, and like getting more of a financial incentive than anything, and you're only going to give them 7.5 mil.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, what about the bonuses they lost out from qualifying and shit like that? So, do you think there should be some sort of some more financial compensation for these teams?
I mean, Joe, I didn't because like at the end of the day, okay, they're getting something. People are like, oh, but, they're getting something back. They don't really have to give them anything. They're just doing that. So, they should be happy they at least got that. But like, I mean, at the end of the day, what does that really cover? Like, if that's one of your key guys and he's out for the year and, you guys obviously aren't playing as good as when he's in the lineup because he's such a key guy. You could be making a lot more than 7.5 million, and now you're just taking that. And for what? It's literally like the equivalent of, let's say you own your own business. Okay. You have, a very successful business and you have one employee. He's your standout guy. He's like the heart and soul of the company.
Yeah.
And one day, they're doing something, a fucking skid falls on him from like the rack, falls on his leg. He breaks his leg. He's going to be out. Who knows how long he's gone. And now you're going to do without him.
Yeah.
And then whatever. Let's say the executives where they come in, okay, hey, for your losses, we're going to give you 500,000 or whatever, $100,000. This, kind of help out, whatever. Here you go. Yeah. Okay. Hey, nice. You're getting some money for that. Okay, cool. But how much money are you going to lose now that he's not there?
Exactly.
How much potential is going to go down because he's not there? And it's like this, man. Yeah. Okay. Gavi, okay, he's out now. You're going to get some money back. Okay. Yeah, cool. But how much is the team going to suffer now?
Exactly.
And, is that 7.5 mil even going to be close to what they could have made or the potential if he was there?
Well, exactly. And you look at,
I wasn't playing these fucking stupid games.
Like Real Madrid, who lost two key. Well, I don't know how. I would say Camavinga is key because of his versatility and his overall ability. But like you look at them, they lost two key guys. What if they drop out of Champions League now?
Yeah.
There's no financial bonus for them. And what, you're going to give them $20 and say, hey, cheers? What about Chelsea, who had fucking how many, like 15 injured guys? You know what I mean? Like they had 15 injured guys and they're still trying to compete in the Premier League, which is one of the toughest leagues.
Yeah.
Where's their compensation? There's nothing. There's literally nothing. And Nkunku got injured. He didn't even get to play with the first team yet in the Prem. And he got injured on international duty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's stuff like that like the compensation you award them isn't really enough. There's nothing that like, and I do think you should be giving them more.
Yeah.
Something at least.
The only I will say, like, I hope I'm right about this. Like, I feel like this is also a thing because, like, we're still like everyone. We're not. It could be a couple years out now, but we're still not past like the COVID effects and stuff that happened because. Right now, we're doing like they're still playing like they were just finishing up the qualifying for the Euro Cup that's happening, next year in a couple months. So everything had to get pushed because the World Cup they ended up doing it last year.
Stupid as fucking.
The Euro Cup they ended up doing a year after it was supposed to take place.
I'm convinced
it was 2021, but they're still calling it the Euro Cup 2020.
I'm actually so convinced that World Cup actually screwed over a lot of people, and we don't realize it. Like, you're feeling like, dude, wasn't it Pedri that paid what 80 games in one fucking year?
That's what I mean.
Because of that World Cup.
He's a youngster, but like look how much he got pushed
through. And then look the next year after that, how like he was fatigued a lot.
Yeah.
His muscle, like all that shit. And it's like that goes to show you, like, and I feel like the World Cup itself is putting a damper on these players, and like they're still recovering from that. Like imagine you're competing in already a good league or whatever. You're in Europe's top 5 leagues, competing in Champions League, regular league, playing a cup, whatever. Then you have to leave that and go play in a World Cup, which every game is do or die.
Yeah. Like literally you have to be playing your best game. Like,
and it's like, I get it. It's entertaining for us. 100%. I will agree. There's a lot of
content to watch.
Yeah, exactly. There's always something going on to watch, whatever. But at the same time, like you really feel for these guys because it's like
100%.
They're humans too. You know what I mean? Like I get it. It's like you said.
Yeah, they're obviously a lot more fit than us. But a body's a body. It can only take so much.
And I get it when people say, oh, advancements in technology and medicine and this and that an ACL tear before would have ruined your career. Now 6 months, you're back.
No.
Are you really actually ever back from that? No, you're not.
Yeah.
What about your mental state? That's
the biggest thing.
Alone, that will take a year and a half, 2 years to, get back into like the swing of things. I'm convinced, and it sucks and whatever to say, but every player I've seen get it like an ACL tear, they don't fulfill their potential.
Mhm.
You know, like I'm even looking at Chiesa right now. Yeah, monster, fucking fantastic. But you see how scared he is.
Yeah.
You know, like you'll see he'll get even just a push
Mhm.
and he'll walk away, grab his leg, and be worried.
So
And you're like,
in the qualifiers, that one I literally I thought he was. I'm like, oh my god, because like, you see the challenge and everything. You're like, oh my god, okay, he might have like tweaked something. Like that could be something serious. And like you saw it a lot last year with him. I do feel like he's made progress in like mentally. Like now you'll see him kind of do a little bit more runs than he was doing last year. You'd see him taking on guys and doing those cuts that he wasn't really comfortable with last year. You see the growth in him. But like you said, again, you'll still see now this season, he'll get a hit and you'll see him go down. And like he's thinking the worst. He's like, oh my God, no, my knee's done, my knee's done.
dude.
And then he gets up, he kind of walks and he's like, oh, never mind, I'm good. Like last year was literally like, oh no, I did something. He went to the doctor in Austria. They do all these tests and they're like, dude, nothing's wrong with you. It was just a mental thing with him.
Yeah, dude.
He's still going through it. But I do agree with you, man. A lot of the times you see these people with they get an ACL tear and they're trying to come back. They're, 6 months. They come back, they make that first appearance. They slowly, but mentally, man, they never get to that potential.
Dude. And that's the saddest reality, especially for like these young kids. Like you see them playing, like you just know, like Zaniolo for Roma. For me, like, dude, that guy, you guys remember, that was my god at one point.
I mean,
that was
the
next.
You saw the potential he
Totti,
had, man.
what he did, his runs, all the power he had, like fantastic. Back-to-back ACL tears, and like you see him now, like, okay, a lot of people will argue, oh yeah, that's Zaniolo. It's like, no, like what he was doing with Roma at one point was nothing short of just magic.
Yeah. You haven't seen any of that.
You see glimpses, but that's it. You're not gonna get what that monster was supposed to be. You know, like it's a scary thing, but I mean,
the worst part of the sport is the injuries, and especially when it happens to somebody at the age of Zaniolo when he got both of them. That it's just like the good thing is like he's so young where he can kind of bounce back, but is he ever going to be pushing himself to that level, like you said, when he was just a god attacking wise? Is he ever going to get to that and push himself to that? Who knows? Like,
that's true.
It's a hit or miss. That's that's a sad thing, man, with these injuries when it happens to these young players.
But I mean, FIFA doesn't give a fuck.
They don't
don't
give a fuck.
We're just two dudes in a studio telling you guys how we feel
and how FIFA are dickheads,
greedy bastards. Anyways,
we
didn't do too much of a preview of Champions League this year because honestly, respectfully, it's sometimes we feel like stuff is a little bit repetitive. It's here's another preview for all the other people making the same videos as us now. Like, you don't give a fuck that much unless you like us, which I hope you guys do. But anyways, sorry, I just drew a blank.
Champions
League. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Jesus Christ. So yeah, we didn't do a preview, but now it's starting to get to like kind of almost the end game of it all. Went through the first team, stuff like that, playing the second round of it. A lot of these teams are guaranteed qualification now. You see it with like Real Madrid, who's 4-0, Bayern, City. City is as well. So yeah, but my question to you now, Al, again, is: are any of these teams actually like deemed favorites? Like Madrid, who's 4-0, City, who is one of the most feared sides.
Yeah.
This year they kind of looked a little whatever, not the best, but obviously it's still City. We all knew they were a great team, just lacked that kind of final conviction. So this year it's obviously different though. Do you think any of these teams, I feel like I'm jumping all over the map right now, trying to remember where my train of thought went.
It's slowly coming back to you. Slowly getting there.
My question to you now is anybody actually scary enough or deemed like a favorite in this tournament right now?
Yeah, obviously you have your favorites, like you said, 4-0, Bayern, City, Real, like those three teams right there. No matter what year it is, you're always like they're always going to be up there in the names. Now, do I think that they're actually, favorites? We're
not Vegas here, man. We gotta talk about ours.
But that's the thing, man. Like I genuinely, like right now, man, Madrid, City, and Bayern. I've seen them play good games, and I've seen them that they looked, just I don't know if it was fatigued or they just didn't look as scary as like they once did. But and like that's why, like personally, I think this year Champions League is going to be open. I think there's gonna be a lot of surprises
I agree.
as we go through, and I don't think like I think Bayern they're gonna get an unlucky draw against some team that no one's gonna expect, and they're gonna get kicked. Real at their best, they're very scary, but they're still missing something, and I don't care what anybody tells me. That year when they won, that was just Benzema. Benzema, Joe. Those games when they were down like 3-1, he either assisted Vinny or was scoring the goal.
Okay, yeah,
his mentality, and obviously like Modric, Cruz, like these veterans on the team, like they played a big part. But man, he was just such a difference maker.
Yeah,
and like just brought that team forward on those counterattacks, and that's where I think that you're gonna see Real Madrid struggle, and you're gonna see them at their weak points. Is when they start getting deeper in, when you're having those games that, let's say it's Real versus City and City's up 2-0. I don't know if they're going to be able to push a comeback as City's mounting that pressure on them.
Do you think, given like even the injury crisis that they're having right now,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I even get to. Like now, like you already see the injuries with let's say Madrid, for instance. That's just right now. We haven't even got to the new year yet.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through, guys.
Like the new year is when you start having some more injuries. Like that's when your more serious ones, I feel like, start happening, because the guys are like super fatigued. So we don't even know what's coming with that. So you don't know which Real Madrid side you're going to see. You don't know if you're going to see 20-year-olds, 20 playing for Madrid because they don't have any more depth or any veterans or guys that are like their starters to be able to play. So that's what I think you're going to see Madrid. City, I feel like they're going to make a push. They're obviously still dominant. Like they're a strong team, but I also feel like they've gotten figured out in a sense. And I feel like just after last year, like they put everything into that. You see it a little bit this year against, certain games. You kind of see like that fall in kind of like they're not as like pressure dominant and just not as like that a scary team. I feel like not like they're still scary, but not like they once were, even with like last year with Haaland. Like at the beginning, like I was like, even when they were losing games, I was like, I still fear this team. Man, now I feel like there's certain pockets in their team, and I mean, dude, without fucking De Bruyne, Haaland's not the beast he once was.
I just feel like it's with City with Pep, actually, not with City, with Pep. There's like a same song and dance he almost does, where it's like he starts the season off, you start to question it. Oh, individual brilliance is saving him. This, that, whatever. He has a little bit of an injury crisis. And then that injury crisis then leads him to his moment of genius of moving John Stones from center back to defensive mid alongside Rodri. And it just takes them away. So like I'm waiting for that moment to happen with City this year, like with Pep and City. Once that happens, I will tell you if I think if they're a scary team or not. Obviously, again, on paper, they are. But it's like you said, they just don't look as convincing as they did last year. Like last year, there was their stamp of authority on everything.
Like the way, like honestly, the way I'm judging it, and like this, I always judge Champions League is like when we actually made Champions League, we were in it. Like every year, I'd look when you go past the group stage, and you're looking, you're like, hey, fuck, okay, Barca's still in, don't want to match them. Bayern is still in, don't want to match them. Real's in, don't want to match them. Like now I'm looking at it, like if Juve was in Champions League, obviously like City's a better team than us. But I feel like we can give them a little bit of trouble. Madrid, depending on their injuries and everything, we can give them a run for their money. Bayern, same thing. So like I'm looking at these teams, and like we're not even at our greatest yet, and that's the way I'm just judging it. And I feel obviously I could be wrong, I could be just stupid, but that's just the way I'm looking at these teams now. Like they're not like a team that you fear like you once did, man. You looked at Real Madrid and you're like, oh my god, we got to stop for 90 minutes. Bale, Benzema, and Ronaldo, and then in the midfield, Casemiro, Modric, and Cruz, and have Sergio Ramos, Varane, Marcelo, and Carvajal in the back to try to get through. Like those are games where I was like, fuck. Ramos. Or you're dealing with Lewandowski, Robin, and Ribéry, and Muller right behind them that just doesn't look like a soccer player, but just
space interpreter.
Absolutely just class, and probably one of the smartest players.
Oh yeah,
but just not really that good at anything. But IQ unreal.
Yeah.
So now you don't have that in these teams. My opinion. That's just what
I agree. I just feel like nowadays it's become kind of diluted, where it's like anybody could beat anybody. You know, like it's not that those powerhouses.
No.
It's not
Like
MS.
Inter could have easily won Champions League last year.
I agree.
It was only 1-0, and it was on a shot from Rodri that it got deflected, went in. Inter had chances to score. Lukaku blocked a couple of them, but Inter could have won that game. I hate to say it. I didn't want to see it. I was happy the City won because Inter didn't win.
Yeah,
but they could have easily won that game, man.
Yeah.
It wasn't like City dominated them.
Given dominance and the whole talk of this, Newcastle was. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I got Joe blushing now.
I did actually. I'm nervous again. Newcastle made it to Champions League, and there was this big hype kind of around them, you know, and Saudi Arabian money and this, and they're gonna build a powerhouse and whatever, blah blah blah. They're 1-1-3.
Yep.
Not doing the best right now. Do you think Newcastle is even ready for Champions League? Like, is it still above their weight class?
Obviously, it's above their weight class. I do think that they were somewhat ready because you've seen that, you know, they brought in some key figures. Obviously, because of, you know, Bet365 and FanDuel, they lost one of their best players that they brought in.
Oh, so I literally had to think about. I'm like, wait, Ivan Toney?
No, Tonali.
Yeah.
And they got some depth in. They made some you know, signed some veteran guys, brought in some, like, you know, spent some money on you know, Tonali, who literally improved their midfield. But I just think it was the inexperience that got them.
Yeah.
Like, first year back in Champions League, you know, you don't, like, you look at teams and you're like, oh, okay, you know, we should have this. Okay, this game's gonna be a little different. But then you, like, dude, I remember talking about this earlier on, like, just in our friend group. We looked at Milan's group: Milan, Dortmund, Newcastle, and PSG. And everyone said, oh, no, dude, PSG and Milan. You know, I was saying, oh, no, dude, PSG and Newcastle, just because my boys. But everyone thought that. Now you have Dortmund pretty much, like, topping the group.
Yeah, to say Dortmund's at
like,
the top
just
right now.
absolutely beating everybody. And now you don't know who's even gonna finish top 2 in that group because it's so close. So, like, they could still end up making it out and just surprise everybody.
Yeah.
I just think it's just the inexperience in them that you're seeing, and, you know, give Newcastle another year of them making Champions League, then, you know, a third year in a row, then they start kind of getting that accustomed to it, and they start having the key guys, the veterans on the team that kind of will direct these, you know, younger guys and teach them, you know, what it means to play in Champions League and all this stuff, and just how games are different Champions League compared to the league. Like, it's a completely different play style. People play different. The teams will play a little bit more defensive, like Portuguese, Italian teams. They'll sit back and catch you on that counter, and the Prem teams are not used to that. They're just used to attack, and everything's all open. Yeah. So for me, they were prepared well. It's just the inexperience now that you're seeing out of them.
See, I'm gonna actually kind of disagree with the whole prepared well. Like, the thing
for what they could, like, how much, dude? How much? You're not gonna go, like, you're not gonna like, that's the thing. They couldn't go balls deep and make all these signings. They have the money to bring in all these guys and make this world-class team, but you're gonna invest all this thing, and then you guys get out round of 16, then you spend all that money.
But this is my thing. This is my thing. Okay, first off, you have a blank check of money. I'm not saying buy a brand new 11. I'm not saying that or anything along those lines. My thing is, they still don't have depth. Realistically, they have zero depth.
The thing,
you could have purchased a couple,
but last year but like, they're at that, like, next year, like in the January, in the summer, you're gonna start seeing them sign depth, because before, man, like, okay, yeah, they were a decent team. They made Champions League last year, but a lot of those players, like, you knew that they weren't going to be staying in the starting 11, or they needed to be replaced with someone better. They did that, and now it's just like they don't want to overdo it with bringing in all these new guys.
I know. But my thing is, again, then, like, on the topic of the, like, depth and whatever, not only did they not bring in any depth
if you don't have a starter.
But that's what I mean. They don't even have a proper starting 11.
That's what I mean.
Now, I'm not saying, again, don't go out by fucking everyone and their dad. No. But again, you could get one starter for each position. You know, like, your defense, respectfully, Sven Botman, I think he's a great player. Schär, good player. Trippier is overrated as hell to me. I don't think he's
I don't think he's too overrated.
I think he's beyond overrated because he could take a free kick properly.
Yeah, but
I don't care if my right back could ping a ball 40 yards. I want my right back to defend properly.
I wouldn't say overrated.
Anyways, he's old though.
Yeah, but he's your captain. He's your veteran. That's the That's your like.
And then
your leader.
and then who's their left back? That big oaf, what's his name? Dunk.
Dunk. Is it Dunk?
Or Dunk might be the other center back. I can't remember right now. I always praise him because I love him because he's just a big idiot. Whatever. I can't
remember his name.
I can't remember for the life of me right now. I'm having a lot of brain farts right now, so just bear with me. But their left back is not good. He's not a player able to play in like a Champions League team unless it's a different. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Unless you're a Bodo Glimt, like something like that. Like that's where you start in a Champions League team. Not for Newcastle, that's on the rise and whatever. Yeah. So you're gonna look at me and tell me with the amount of money they have, they couldn't have looked and said, okay, we bought a starting center mid who is very good in Sandro Tonali. He's gonna link up very well with Jolinton and Bruno Guimaraes. Cool. Now what about your defense? What did you do to improve that? Absolutely nothing. Yeah. Your attack, what did you do to improve that? A guy from Everton that was kind of raw, could be good, and Anthony Gordon. That's realistically all they did.
And Callum Wilson,
veteran presence. See, to me though, that's great depth.
Yeah,
I won't say. I think Alexander Isak and Callum Wilson. Starting. That's a perfect like double-headed dragon there because Callum Wilson is fantastic depth, and I think Isak is a good starter. Miguel Almiron, good player. Who replaces him though? You know what I mean? So like the least they could have done is, okay, yes, they splashed a lot on Tonali, but they could have splashed something on another guy on defense or a somewhat decent enough attacker.
You already started seeing these problems early on when, now like they have like, what, it was like 15 or 16 injuries. And before this game against Chelsea, like they were losing, they were dropping points. And there was that video that fans were like snapping and Trippier's like, oh, what do you want? Like we're doing our best. We have 15, like look at we have 15 injuries right now. Like,
but that comes down to me. That comes down.
That's depth.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like if you looked at me and told me you have that much fucking money, the least you could do is buy a couple people worth $5 million.
You can't just start spending all this money all like within 1 year.
Okay, but
they're gonna build it slowly.
Riddle me this. How okay? I'll put it into a Roma stance here.
Yeah,
we suck ass.
Yeah,
I would say to you. And honestly, mean it. We have better depth.
Man. Look at. But
we signed all our depth for free.
Look, for example, okay. Look back at when City got Bodo, and the first year of them like buying, second year they started like buying players. They just had a starting 11. They didn't have any depth really. They had like one or two guys. I'm not saying they had no depth.
It's not their first year anymore, buddy.
Yeah, it's their second year now with this ownership.
Third.
Okay, third year. But I'm saying, I guarantee we'll talk again January. End of the summer, you're going to see how much depth they're going to be signing.
Listen, I'm not hoping they do because I'll come back to this fucking episode and be pissed that they took my advice and splashed all this money and bought everybody. Next thing I know, Dybala goes there. We lose everybody, whatever. It's just, for me, it's kind of an embarrassment. I'll be honest with you, that they have that kind of money. They play in the league. They do. They want to go back and be amongst the top dogs. Yeah. They want to be restart history, one of the top dogs again. And you don't even have the Steez first year back in Champions League to actually get the missing,
and
you know what I mean?
Links,
get the missing links, fill up some depth. You know what I mean? Like it's, to me, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Shit like that bothers me. But we're not gonna harp on how much Newcastle pisses me the heck off because I know that's Al's team.
Don't harp on my Magpies.
We're gonna have a little bit of fun. We're gonna
having some fun.
Change the topic here because I'm gonna start getting too heated. Prem just pisses me off with their fucking money and how
how we're so broke.
No, you know what it is? Honestly, with the Prem that pisses me off, it gives me somewhat of a Serie A vibe.
Yeah.
Chelsea, I'm gonna defend Chelsea for a second here. I'm sorry, this is a random tangent, has nothing to do with anything, but whatever. Chelsea gets shit on. They have 15 plus injuries, if not more.
Yep.
Key guys. Yeah. Todd Bowley dropped a fucking shit ton of money on the team.
$1 billion.
Did everything he could. Pochettino's a decent enough coach, but it's like the league itself is looking and saying, no, Chelsea, fuck you. We're going to investigate you. City's had 115 charges for the last 4 years, but we'll sweep that under the rug.
Yeah, we got to wait.
But, Chelsea that time under Roman Abramovich, the guy who we bullied out and forced to sell his club for a deal of a price, we're going to investigate stuff that he did. Yeah. And we're going to penalize you guys now. I'm sorry. Prem is just you guys are all over the place. Don't tell me about how you're the best in the world because you guys have more problems than Italy. You're just better at keeping it quiet.
Yeah, so Italians are, whoa.
Yeah, we have a guy that hacks butts at a piazza that fucking rats everyone out.
Hey, that guy over there?
Yeah.
He was paid for games.
That's what I mean.
You
guys are just better at hiding. That's it. But other
England,
than that,
they're
you
like-
guys are just as fucking
England,
stupid.
they're like, hey, I didn't see shit, man. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
On the topic of changing and what has to
Change.
be wrong.
The keyword change.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna stop my little rant there.
Like
Keyword
Coney 2012.
keyword
change.
change here. All right. So Al, I'm gonna ask you this question here. We all think the game itself has a lot of flaws. We all think soccer has, or football has, space for improvement. Lots of improvements. So, Al, besides the offside rule, I'm gonna change it up on you here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Besides the offside rule, because that is gonna be getting a makeover.
Mhm.
What is one rule in football you would like to change? I can give you mine. I've been thinking about this all day, buddy.
I mean, honestly, probably one of the ones I would have said, but I mean, they already did that, and probably like one of the best things that they've done as of recently was the five subs.
Yes, I think
That I think.
that's fantastic.
The one thing I will say about that, which I think they should add on to that, is you get 5 plus an injury.
Isn't there already? No, that's
No,
just for head.
That's just for head.
Mhm.
That's just
Okay.
for head. Just in general. You know, if you already made your subs because, you know, a couple guys kind of maybe felt a little bit sore at halftime, you had to make 2 or 3 changes.
Or just
already.
tactical
Or
changes.
just tactical. And you ended up using them all up. And then it's, you know, by the 75th minute, someone goes, tears their ACL. There should be a rule that, you know, allows a team to be able to make an extra substitution for that player.
Now here's the reverse end though. What if they fake that injury? Oh, Bello, I can't walk. Oh my God, my thigh. You need to sub me out. You know what I mean? Like, how do you monitor then how truthful
How
said person
if a
is?
play, yeah, okay.
That's the only, like, obviously I do agree. I do think an injury is
Mhm.
like, look how many times people have gone down to 10 men
Yeah,
because of an injury.
Because of an injury.
So I do agree, but that's the thing. How do you monitor the
how
truth?
are you
in
going
that?
to be able to make sure that they're actually telling the truth?
You know what I mean?
Okay, fine. I'll choose something else then. I'll choose something different.
I'm not gonna lie. I already in my head thought you like were gonna say something, so I'm surprised you haven't said it yet.
Also, because I was thinking about a couple like today when I was just kind of going through and trying to just like decide on something that I can come up with. If not that, and if not the offside, because that's my biggest thing.
Well, that might actually change though. That
doesn't mean
is
that,
that's
they
already
keep talking
so
about it.
yeah.
But
That's why I don't want to talk about that.
It's all fucking bullshit. Okay, what about changing the rule that you can pass it back to your goalie? So being able to actually with your foot, being able to pass it back to him.
Flaw with that is, what if you just keep doing that throughout the whole game?
Team's gonna keep
waste
attacking.
time. So I'm saying to waste time.
Yeah, then the away team or the other team is, let's say the goalie's passing it to you and you're passing it back. I'm just gonna come and just man mark you. Cut off the outlet.
Yeah, I guess.
Like,
yeah.
I still think it's so stupid. Like that you can only pass it back with
Well,
your
they
head
used to have that
or your
rule.
knee.
I think they literally stopped that rule because of the fact that like it was used as a ultimate time waster. Like, oh, I'm just gonna keep passing it back.
No, I got it.
There you go. Finally, for fuck's
I don't know if
sake.
it's the same one that you're thinking about.
I think it is. Go say it.
What does it start with?
Challenge.
No.
Oh.
I thought you wait.
So you and your dad have spoken about this like a
okay.
like a coach's ability to challenge a call.
Okay.
And say, hey, no, I demand you go to VAR.
I'll say that one, but then I'll come back and I'll say what I was.
No, say what you're gonna actually say.
Okay.
And then
what
we'll talk about other things.
Is because I've seen videos and it looked fucking crazy. Change the penalties to what they were in the MLS before.
Oh, like the
running up, the goalie coming off his line. Change it back to that.
Listen, that's actually a fantastic
Change
rule.
it back to that.
Because you know what?
I just thought about that. Because I saw a video not a couple days ago. Like I always see the same video, but like I always see it and I'm like, man, why don't they like this? Actually, like makes a shootout interesting in soccer.
It makes it interesting. I think it balances it out so the goalie actually has more of a chance. I feel like penalty shots right now, like Okay, yes, I know. Like penalty shots are difficult to take. I get it, but it's mainly difficult to take because of the pressure.
Yeah.
That it's so assumed you'll
It's
score.
not actually hard that you're
For a
take a
for a
penalty
goalie, I think it's the most difficult task because you have literally a split second to make a
to try to
decision.
guess.
You're not allowed to jump forward to cut an angle off.
Mhm.
You're not allowed to step off your
You can step off
line,
your
just
line.
like whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that a
Yeah.
goalie can't do,
Yeah.
and it kind of takes away from the goalie. No, I think you should make it more in favor of the goalie like that.
That's what
Make
I
it a
think.
breakaway.
That's my rule.
You know what I mean? Like
That's my rule. I think
Great fucking
the
rule.
penalty should change. But also, just quickly on the other things, you reminded me.
yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna talk about the challenge thing. I just wanted to.
I think should be a thing as it is in football, basketball, hockey, everything. A coach should have one challenge. Something something happens in the game, whatever. You don't agree with the call. Either you get a flag, you put your hand up, but you tell the assistant on the side. You say you want to challenge the play. Play stops. They have to review it, look at everything, make the call. If that coach is wrong, you lose a sub.
Yeah.
If the coach is right, you get the call. You don't lose anything. Keep playing from there.
Because and the reason, like, this is the thing.
Tell me that doesn't make sense.
A lot of people argue it and say, "Oh yeah, but what's VAR for then? What's VAR?" No, but that's the thing. How many times? Look at the Premier League alone. If you want to keep talking about whatever, Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, there's Champions League, everything. The amount of times a VAR call is even missed. Oh, we're not going to go to VAR for that. No, but like if you truly believe as a coach, you still should be looking at that again and actually look at it.
Don't you think that it's crazy that we've seen online? Obviously, you're obviously going to see the bad, but we've seen so many bad calls and reviews, and then you see like the calls from the afterwards. You see some of those and how new, so many of them, but we have not or have seen very little of calls that were really good calls changed by VAR. That it was a bad call, that the ref made a mistake, and then VAR came in, caught something very little, and actually made the right decision.
Yeah, no, I agree.
What the fuck have we seen?
I agree.
It's always these bad calls.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, obviously, you'll see more bad than good because that's society in general. They're always bad.
That's always gonna be pushed.
But in saying that, like it is true.
I've seen a good video.
I can't honestly look at you from watching games, not even from like going online or whatever. Watching games, looking at a VAR call and saying, yeah, you know what?
Yeah,
Thank God you caught that.
You got that
I didn't even see it. You got that right. You know what I mean? Like, it's the only thing I could look at and say to you, like, oh yeah, thank God for VAR and they caught that offside.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, lately, dude, these offsides that they've been fucking calling, it's my cuticle is offside. Somebody's heel is offside.
Stud, not even his heel.
You know what I mean? Like, so like that's the thing. Like offside for the longest of times, linesmen were doing it so beautifully. I'd honestly look at you and say, I think offsides were better before than they were now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like obviously you have errors.
They try to be too fucking clinical.
But now it's like it's just stupid. But my rule that I would love to change, and I know this is going to be a little bit of a weird one that I'm going to say. It has to be tackling. Now I know that sounds like a very weird concept.
It's kind of broad. Like,
but how many? Like okay, so like you know how they always say the rule in place is if you touch the ball first, it's clean.
Yeah.
But then they'll also fuck with you and say, no, you tackled from behind.
Yeah.
So that's whatever.
Yeah.
It should be like a universal type of thing that it's not up to the discretion of the referee. If I absolutely fucking Brexit somebody, but I got all the ball and it is as clean as a whistle, I don't want you calling that. I think there should be at least like a better communication of what a foul is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think shoulder to shoulder, you should be allowed to do that.
Yeah.
If a jersey pull, yes, okay, obviously like that's a foul, certain things, whatever. But you know, like how many times are you looking and you'll see a beautiful challenge from behind? He pokes the ball forward and then obviously he takes the guy out because he's tackling from behind, but he calls it. You know, God forbid you make a challenge like that in the box. It's automatically a pen. Yeah. For me, that is one thing I would like to see. Like, no, you're allowed to tackle from behind.
They have to
some sort of 100%
have to adjust.
You know what I mean? Like some sort of like what is a true foul? Like tell me you're touching the ball.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. Even if you touch the ball by a sliver, that's fine. You touch the ball first, you deflected it out, you made that contact, and that was your intent.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean?
As a defender yourself.
Yeah.
How many times, I've done it too, and it's a lot of times when like me playing, obviously not competitive like this in the pros, but never got called. As long as I went behind, I was running beside the guy, or I'd run, trying to catch up, and I'd make a tackle from behind, but I would swing, or I would hook on the outside.
Do the scoop,
I would do the outside one too, and got the ball. Obviously, him to try to sell something would go flying over and try to think, but I got all
Yeah.
ball. And a lot of times never get called. Then you watch pros play, and obviously some of them you'll see the follow through where they just fucking take out the guy, but they poke the ball a little bit. Okay. But I've seen some tackles from behind where the guy will go absolutely beautiful around, hit that ball right out clean.
Yeah.
And then the guy running hits his legs and falls over and crying on the floor, yelling like he just got shot in the head.
Yep.
And then they call it.
Yeah.
And then I've shoulder to shoulder. As long as the guy's not throwing his arm or he's not going for a fucking Scott Stevens.
Yeah. As long as you don't see like the wind up of the, like the sway. Yeah.
If I'm stronger than you, and
that's fine.
And you're flying to the ground because you're a lot smaller or just weaker than me, shouldn't be a call,
dude. And that's
just because I'm strong.
There was an era of football.
If I'm not malicious, then we shouldn't be called.
Yeah, there was an era of football where I could honestly look at you and say there was an art to defending. You know what I mean? Like beginning of Sergio Ramos's career, that was starting to be the end of that art. And you know, like you would see these guys, Nesta, dude. That clip still circulates around Twitter and everything of him tackling Messi from behind, squeezing ever so delicately in between his legs, poking the ball free, but then Messi going over.
No.
Messi getting up, they dab each other up, and that's it. But that was an actual art to slide tackle from behind and get the ball. Yeah, the follow through obviously took the guy out.
You're not going to be able to stop.
It doesn't matter to me. That should be like, you know, like that should be allowed.
Yeah,
you know, and like there's so many soft fouls that are given away. Like the one I fucking absolutely hate the most is when the player's coming and like he quickly shields the ball, but then he falls to the ground because he was pulled or his arm was grabbed or whatever. Listen, buddy, I'm run as a defender. If you're trying to shield me and I'm running at you, obviously I'm making that contact on your back. I'm not letting you turn.
Don't be a little bitch, yeah.
Then you fall to the ground, you fucking whatever. Again, there's certain moments where like the guy fucking punches him from behind and shit like that. But 9 times out of 10, like a guy like Lautaro Martinez, the amount of times I've seen him actually turn, but his touch was a little bit wayward and a little bit far, so he just falls to the ground. And yeah, you're right, foul. No, that's not a foul. That was him fucking his touch up. So I don't know. I think like for me, that's something I would look at. Like I would say like just at least be more strict with the fouls you're calling.
Yeah.
Or at least explain to us what does it actually mean to get the ball
and be
first.
on the same page with all referees.
Yeah, exactly.
An organization that, hey, this is called, this is no call.
Yeah, exactly. Like how wasn't Cristante against Ukraine? And I hate saying this because I love my king.
That was like,
but you know what I mean? Like you see stuff like
we all sat there in silence for a couple seconds saying like, fuck. Dude,
yeah, like don't get me wrong. Again, you saw that still picture where it looked like Cristante didn't actually step on his foot, but you're going based off real time. To me, that was a pen. I even said it to you guys.
Like you're looking at like the replay and you're like,
you know what I mean? Like it's still not that clear. And like to me, like you saw Mudryk touch the ball away. Cristante was fully committed to challenging him and lunged in already. So to me, though, that is a pen.
Yeah.
Because you like whatever. But then like obviously the ref argued, oh no, it's not a pen.
Yeah.
I mean, it benefited us. I won't complain too much about that. But it's shit like that where it's just all referees and everybody has to kind of come upon some sort of agreement, you know? Yeah. So we're changing rules.
I think
dude.
so I think both of
we
our
should
rules,
build
all 3, because we kind of added in like the challenging one too. So I'd say all 3 should be rules into the game.
Yeah.
Because they're fantastic ideas. No bias, obviously.
The game is
fantastic.
The game is always evolving. Look at like every sport, not just soccer. Everything evolves with technology, with this, with that, whatever. So soccer, obviously what made it beautiful and whatever was because they didn't change shit for so long. It was such a natural thing. Time never stopped, free flowing, whatever.
It gets to that
but
point.
You're getting to a point where now you're getting injustices that are happening because like
too many.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing that pisses a lot of the fans off.
There's obviously going to be injustice. There's obviously going to be certain situations, but it shouldn't be happening like this.
You know,
it should not be, you know, a thing that's like happening this often that we got to talk about it this much. Like
that's what I mean, dude. Like how many times are we harping like in our podcast? Like I could honestly say we've done what 60 something episodes, almost 70.
No, we're at 70.
We're at 70 now.
72, I think 73.
So yeah, so we've done 72, 73. Oh yeah, that's right. So I saw 70. Yeah. Anyways, we've done 71, 72 episodes, 73 episodes. And I could honestly look at you and say probably about 10 to 15 of those, we've talked about the offside. We've talked about handballs. We've talked about VAR being fucking stupid. You know, like, it's maybe like this isn't just us that think it either. You know, like other people have this conversation.
It's a big thing. It's just they are trying so hard not to change, and it's just becoming too much of a problem that it's going to get to a point where they're going to have no other choice but to start making certain changes that it's going to change the game.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's just they won't listen to it anyways.
Yeah.
They won't
They
address
might,
this shit.
maybe.
Probably not.
Maybe Kalina's gonna listen to the podcast.
I fucking wish. Wenger's the only one that has power nowadays. But no longer gonna harp on negatives again here.
It's the most wonderful time of the podcast. We're building a team.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man. I'm getting into spirit.
We're not
It's Christmas.
I
Merry
love Christmas.
Merry Chrysler.
So this team that we are going to build, last week we did only left footers. We're gonna do in honor of me the shortest 11 because I'm short, so it would have made like sense. Anyways,
not that many players.
Dude. When I was looking at like a list of like the shortest players, I'm like, man, who the fuck are these guys? Like Maxi Morales, okay, I knew him, but I'm like, wait, he was actually 5'2". Like, what the fuck? This guy.
So our attack's gonna be Insigne, Jovinko, and Messi.
yeah. So rather not do that. So what we actually decided
we made it a little bit spicy
upon was we are going to speak today about wingbacks.
A team full of wingbacks.
A team full of wingbacks will be made. It will be consisting of left backs and right backs, obviously. But the little stipulation is we're only allowed to use the same nation twice because, of course, we realistically could just build a team full of Brazilians. Honestly and truthfully, because they were fucking unreal.
You're not wrong there, man.
So we're trying to make it a little bit more caliente there. And yeah. Oh, and another little rule, guys like Robin Gosens, who actually never played left back, only play left wing back. We're not using them.
We're not using them.
You wouldn't even fit in this anyways because you're not that good.
And to make it a little bit more spicy, we're going to go with a 3-5-2 as a formation.
Yeah.
Just so there's no fullbacks playing in a fullback. We're going to change it up.
Yeah.
Fullbacks play center back.
Making it fun.
Left mid, right mid. We're changing it up today. So
yeah.
3-5-2 is our formation. No Gosens, no guys that have never played left back.
What about a goalie? I didn't even
hey, someone we're going to play it.
A wing back goes in net.
Yeah.
I think I know who the perfect goalie is too.
I think I know too.
Like, I'm not going to lie to you.
I think I know too.
You keep talking while I Google this.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, realistically, to start off, I'll go first. I'll start with our goalie.
I figured it out.
Okay. So, I mean, I feel like he would probably be the best goalie due to his height and just being an oaf. I'm going to say Dan Byrne as our goalie. It's a solid goalie, I think. He's got the height to him.
Dude, he's 6'5".
That's what I'm saying.
He's literally Courtois' son.
He's got the size. Don't know why he's a fullback. Maybe should have reconsidered being a center back or a goalie. But hey, I'm not going to judge. He's our goalie.
Dan Byrne in net.
Who's going to be our center back?
So 1 out of 3 center backs. I thought a lot about this, and he was consistently in my head. Branislav Ivanovic.
Ooh,
I know it's a little bit random.
Probably should have been a center back his whole career, but
you know what I mean? Dude, he was a
pretty
big boy.
He had a pretty good career as a right back.
He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't whatever. Strong as fucking hell.
Yeah.
Why not have him as a center back? Why was he playing right back? I don't know. But you know what? Hey, he was good enough.
It worked at the time.
And he makes our all-time wing back starting 11.
Yeah. So he's our first center
of
back.
our generation.
Yes. So he's our first center back. Second center back. You know, I mean, I feel like it only makes sense. He was a wing back majority of his career. He also played as a center back. So I think it just makes sense to put him there. I'm going with Paolo Maldini.
I'm glad you said him and I didn't say him.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there's not really an explanation
if there's
for that.
anything with defense, automatically he's there.
Yeah, and he was a fullback. He fits.
He did.
He fits in.
Left back for a while.
Okay, that's my choice for center back. So we have one more center back, and that's on you.
One more center back. I'm gonna go with the doggy fighter himself, that long-haired, curly-headed man, the beautiful man that I loved, Carlos Puyol. Started his career as a right back. I think they even tried to play striker.
Back line. 6'5" goalie, and those 3 as our center backs.
Dan Byrne, baby.
Holy shit, man!
Sorry, table.
I think just that there is a.
I think honestly, right there, actually, you could win the Prem.
That might.
No, sorry, Liga.
I want to see how the rest of the team turns out. That already might kind of take beat those other teams that we built.
We got a good defense so far.
That's pretty crazy.
So,
okay, so now we're going
back to you
to right mid. We'll start with whatever. Yeah,
we'll go right to center, then left.
Like
mid?
we'll do. We'll do. You know what? We'll make it easy. We'll
Wait,
do
did you
right.
say we're doing 3-4-3 or 3-5-2?
3-5-2.
3-5-2. Okay.
So 3 center mids.
Yeah. No, I do relax. I know. Don't get mad. Chill.
Okay. So at right mid, I think it only makes sense to go with my love.
I found
To
the
go
love.
to go with my boy, man. He kind of betrayed me near the end of his career, but I still got love for him. Gianluca Zambrotta as my right mid.
Say his name again for me.
Gianluca Zambrotta.
There you go. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I agree. You know what's funny? Actually, my dad. There's been so many great right backs, so many great left backs. I always argue Cafu was the greatest right back I've ever seen in my life. I'm sure Al might have a different person. Whatever, everyone has theirs.
Cafu's, he's up there for me.
You know, my dad though, who is almost 70, still to this day will always say Zambrotta is his favorite and the greatest right back he has ever seen.
Yeah. See,
he will stand by it. He will fight till the death.
Skill wise, no. But I feel like what made Zambrotta so good was just his work ethic.
Yeah.
And just, dude, the guy, you played him on the right. You could play him on the left. You could play him as a center mid. He played as a defensive mid. Like, he can play more as like as a right mid, kind of like attacking. Like, you can put him anywhere.
He had such a good, like,
he was so versatile.
He was very like doggy. You know,
yeah,
he was just he was. It's like what Mourinho calls Bove right now. He was like a sick dog. He just didn't stop running and chasing you, biting you, like just crazy. Yeah. And again, his skill might have not been there entirely, but you just knew he wouldn't give up on you.
He was a phenomenal fullback.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree. So
now we're going to our center mid.
Over now. Is it going to be more of like a 3-5-2 with like 2 defensive mids, or are we doing center mid, attacking mid, or it doesn't really matter?
Maybe we like an attacking mid, like two center mids and like an attacking mid. Okay, so right now we'll do the center mid.
Well, I feel like this is kind of an obvious one here that I'm going to say because he did again play this position.
Okay.
The guy that you say I look like or looked like or played like, whatever. Mr. Philip Lam.
Man, this fucking team is coming together. Like, who knew how good of a team we could build with just
it's actually kind of crazy. Like, and the worst part is I actually feel like these guys could play that position. Like, I'm not just saying
remember,
like
hey, no more Italians because we already have Maldini and Zambrotta now.
Oh,
so remember that.
Yeah, okay, that's fine though. That's fine. Realistically, what I'm gonna put fucking Spinazzola?
Oh, no, I'm just saying. Don't worry,
we're fine there.
Okay, so our next center mid. Again, this one, I mean, should be a pretty obvious answer. He played there as well. Javier Zanetti. In that midfield, man.
He was so good. Such a gentleman. Man. Such a gentleman.
Come on. Him and Philip Lahm in your midfield.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
Nah, you're right. That I'm not gonna. I was thinking about saving him for the wing.
No.
Because it's like that work ethic.
Yeah, but I think.
But you know what? Yeah. The IQ and again, he played
him and Lahm. Yeah, he played there before. Him and Lahm in there. Yeah, I think he would just be the best.
Dude, it's crazy because I feel like that's like a stone wall too. Yeah. You know, like that's just everything you would need in a player like there in that 3 already. Am I saying left mid or attacking mid right now?
Doesn't matter. You can do either one, whatever you want.
Okay, let me give it a quick sec to have a little thought here.
If you have one for left mid, do that. If you ever have an idea for Cam,
I'm thinking of a good Cam, but like I don't. I'm gonna say Cam just because, and I'll kind of put the burden of left mid on you there.
Okay, I got no problem.
I'm gonna say Cam. Oh fuck! Actually, it's a toss up between 2 of these guys. I'm thinking honestly. Okay, you know what? No. I'm gonna say it. Marcelo. I think Marcelo. I was gonna choose as a Cam. I was gonna say Roberto Carlos because that fucking left foot of his was a crazy strong and those long shots, everything like that. But I rate Marcelo above Roberto Carlos. And like just he was more complete.
His technical, his IQ, like his passing, like. Dude, you saw how great of a partnership him and Ronaldo were. Like,
dude.
I know. I agree with that.
That's why I'd have in that advanced role.
He would be better off, like better suited as an attacking mid than as a striker, or as Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos would literally just be for those thunder cunts outside the box. Just
dude, that's all he
outside
has
curve.
Yeah,
ping.
That's it. You just want him on your free kicks, and that's really it.
You don't care about anything else.
See you later. This is. I feel like now it's gonna get tough though.
So now, no left mid. I feel no.
Nah, I wouldn't put him left mid though.
I feel like we really. Honestly, I was gonna say Alexandro, but I'm joking. I was gonna say Alexandro.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Then I was gonna say Ashley Cole, because he could do a number as a left midfielder, but I feel like there's only one man, and I know I always say that, but it's just because there is, and it's gonna make sense, and you're gonna be like, "Fuck, that is really
well, okay."
good."
As long as it's not Ashley Cole or Alexandro.
No, it's neither of the two. It's
Perfect.
Petr Sevra.
Yeah, more of a defensive option. I feel there like that.
More defensive,
yeah,
as a left back, but you've also seen him in a 3-5-2 when he was with Juve,
Touche.
playing up that field, crossing that ball in, playing phenomenal. So I mean, he covers that role, man. He's a more defensive, obviously,
but it's good.
Zambrotta's on the other side. He's gonna be getting up the field more. He's gonna be putting those balls. He's gonna be shooting the ball. He's got a cannon on as a foot. Yeah. So it makes sense. Our team's fucking solid.
It is. Not thinking of the striker. Sorry, while you're talking.
No. That's what I'm saying. Now, next up, we got 2 striker spots to fill, and we got to be careful nationwide.
So no Italians. I already know. Actually,
we have no more Italians.
One of the greatest right backs, most coveted, most fucking trophies. Pretty sure he might still be playing because he'll never stop playing. Most controversial guy ever, given all his charges he received after his career or whatever. Dani Alves. That would be my striker. That link-up play he had with Messi, I could just see it happening with Marcelo. He could shoot. He had the finesse for it. He had the finishing ability. He had a long shot on him. A dog mentality. Like, he'd be like a Carlos Tevez almost, I just think Dani Alves, baby.
Fuck, okay. And I think I'm pretty sure, as you were saying that, I think I just came up with who his partner is going to be.
Gareth Bale, because he played left back that time.
No, we know where to put him. And he fits the profile.
No more Brazilian.
No, I know.
Okay.
No more Brazilian, no more Italian. That's it. He fits the profile. Adds a little bit of height to the team. Adds a little bit of strength to the team.
Oh.
Adds that little, different aspect that Dani Alves can bring to
Tell me more.
And before you say anything, he did play right back a lot of his career that no one really realized how long he did. Sergio Ramos.
Oh,
yeah, you forgot about that one. Yeah, bitch. I remember that one. What better, Joe? I think this team might be one of our best teams. And it was just with fullbacks.
I will say it was probably the funnest because, you could picture them then moving into those positions.
Man. Imagine, dude, Ramos and Dani Alves as your strikers. Dani Alves just being a little trickster, getting through the guys, making those little skiller plays. Cross it into Ramos. Bang!
Fucking
header.
Most clutch guy ever, too.
Right, man?
Damn.
Look at that team, man.
Shit.
Right?
I think this was okay for me. This was actually probably one of the funnest we had to make.
Oh yeah, this so far for me, this was number one. We were skeptical about it. We were like, wing backs, we'll do wing backs.
Well, at first we were thinking even do we just seclude it to only right backs, only left backs? But then what? We're gonna have a guy
it's gonna be too tough, and
we're just gonna put Di Lorenzo somewhere.
Then you're gonna start putting stupid players that wouldn't really make the team. So I feel like that us doing this, going in the fullbacks, we probably build one of the best possible teams using fullbacks.
I know some people will definitely argue that we shouldn't have put a guy like Branislav Ivanovic there. We should have moved Ramos to that position or whatever. But you need to get him to attack, dude.
Yeah,
you can't attack when you're
Ramos as a defender was a very attacking forward. He scored a shit ton of headers on corners, on crosses. He's the guy I want there. He fits the profile.
Damn.
Our wing backs solid, mids solid. Attack solid.
Marcelo
and our goal is 6'5". What do you need?
It's true, actually. If we were playing EAFC 24, since he's 6'5", perfect fucking goalie. Don't worry, he'll save everything.
See, dude, we just built our whole position change team. See?
Yeah, if you're watching this, maybe.
Yeah. Think we got some ideas.
They're gonna fucking do a shapeshifter promo.
You want to they do a shapeshifter. All those players we just named.
Sergio Ramos gets a striker card. Didn't he get one actually?
Yeah, he did.
Last year or 2 years ago, something like that. But
he did.
Yeah. Anyways,
I was gonna say on that note, I was gonna kind of wrap it up there. I think we kind of got excited near the end. I'm a little bit more amped. I wanna build another 6 teams, but we got to save that for the rest.
Wrap it up like a Christmas present.
So, on that note, guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget to check out our YouTube and subscribe over there. Leave comments on our videos. We see them all. I hope you guys have watched the new Timelines video. The second one that came out now. We have a third one coming out. If you guys haven't watched the second one that came out or the first one, go watch it. Leave a comment. Let us know what you guys think. Hey, let us know if you think you can beat us. Maybe we'll bring you on. Test your knowledge. See how good you know.
Probably
not. We're too good.
The people part of the third episode,
Probably. But there might be people that think that they can. Maybe they might be smarter than us. You're obviously not, but I'm just saying. You might think so. Come on and give it a shot. I guarantee you're not going to beat us. I'll put money on it. But guys, don't forget to check that out. Other than that, I think I'm all wrapped up for this week. Joe, I think his words are done. The elevator's not going to the top floor anymore.
Yeah,
so
I don't know why I had a lot of brain farts at the beginning.
It's okay, man. It's started the new week,
getting
man.
Stressed,
started the new week. It's okay, man.
I think my toque's on too tight.
Joe was,
I screwed up my beard when
in his own thing last night. He had a little laughing attack. He's been through his chakras have been thrown off ever since.
Just another manic Monday.
Guys, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching.
Cheers.
We'll see you next week. Ciao.
See you later.